What's up, y'all? This your girl, Cold Cartel, and you're watching Cold Cartel TV. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And thanks for watching. All
I ever wanted was to live free. Make my own lane while I do me. Sick and tired of punching clocks, living low key. Prefer Papa Bands on a shopping spree. Cold world in the winter, but I hold heat. It's the jungle outside, please look over me. Live loyal, live life, cause procrastination kills.
Yeah. What it do, y'all? What it do? All right, so we just gonna keep it on going. Yep. I'm saying I don't really want to draw the story out too long, or anything like that. But I gotta clear the air within, and I hope y'all appreciate the content. If not, at least I got it out the way that I at least wanted to. But yeah, so went through a rough patch, and for real, man, hell just kept getting deeper, man. It just kept getting deeper. You know, I think I think up until that point in my life, I had never truly ever been tested, like never really pressed, stressed, or involved in any type of situation that required, logical thinking. For real, for real. I was just, a blessed individual, living at home with her parents. Yeah, and I think when that happened, for real, life really crumbled, and I was equipped. I just think that I couldn't manage. Like, I think that I couldn't wrap my head around it. And sometimes, I could be slow to adjust. Like, I can adapt, okay, but, and what I mean by adapt, meaning like I can set up my space and place in there. However, mentally, I still need to make that adjustment. And I think that held me back, and yeah, I think it was just mentally I just couldn't adjust at the speed that I needed to adjust, and that just keeps setting me back, setting me back, setting me back. And eventually, I developed a hatred for everything, and I most importantly hated God. Like, God was my number one op. Like, he was the enemy, and I told him about it every chance that I could. And I was blaming any and everybody I could. Anybody that would come around, I would be like, you did this, you did that. Like, little itsy bitsy stuff, because I was just so hurt and so alone, so broken. Like, just messed up in the head. Like, real talk. And that's never a good recipe for anybody. And then you come from living with your parents, coming home, there's someone always there, to now one of your parents has passed away and another one of your parents is in prison. So when you come home now, you're all alone and you in a new place. But again, that's just coming and stemming back from me just having a great upbringing. In my eyes, there's people who may have had better, but I think a family support system is like definitely one of the top tier things that you can have. But yeah, I think that I just wasn't mentally ready for that amount of stress at that time in my life. Now I can handle stress in situations because I'm more aware of things. I'm finally learning to get ahead of things instead of allowing those things to occur first and then trying to fix it later. But back then, I'm in my first apartment. I didn't even really have time to kind of save or anything like that. I just had to get out my mom's crib. So, things were just all rushing. And I think a lot of that was just overwhelming to me. And at that time, I couldn't handle that type of pressure. Like, at that time, I was completely weak. Like, if you want to be real, I was a weak individual at that time. That's why those negative thoughts were so strong. Those harsh feelings were so volatile. And my hatred for God. I just thought that all of these things were happening to me for no reason. And, just couldn't wrap my head around the fact that, like, bro, she was crazy. Like, I just couldn't really wrap my head around the way life had completely shifted and twisted. And that led to a bunch of setbacks. And I mean setback after setback after setback after setback. Like real talk, I was a complete Debbie Downer. I was you should, like, if Debbie Downer was in the dictionary, just put a picture of me right beside her. Like, real talk. Like, just over here mean. Like over here mean. Like, weed didn't even make me happy. That's crazy. Man, that's crazy. Like, whoa. I was just a complete Debbie Downer. I was just full of anger. Like, you wouldn't have want to be around me. Like, if you would have met me, let's say, shit, 11 years ago, 10 years ago, 9 years ago, you wouldn't have probably liked me. I was not a joy to be around. I was not a easy person to deal with. And I made sure of it because I was just so angry at the world that I took everybody as a threat. Everything you said was, what you say, you know what I mean? I just was in a space and place where I didn't want to manage. I couldn't manage. And that led to losing jobs, falling behind. That just led to, again, one setback after another, one setback after another. And I, when you're scared, alone, broke and broken, you're the most vulnerable that you will ever be. Like, you are essentially the weakest link, like, real talk. And I felt like it. I felt like that life had flipped out upside down, and I wasn't able to twist it back, you know, with the position that it landed me in. And that's just very small minded thinking, very negative, and just, it's not mentally safe. So, that time in my life was crucial. And that's when I actually felt like I could actually talk to God. Like, like, real talk. Like, when they say you gotta have, like, crazy belief. Like, I really, like, felt like by me screaming and cussing them out and yelling up at the sky and just going crazy in my house, like, just yelling. I know my neighbors was like, "Who's this guy yelling at?" But I just was screaming and yelling, "I hate you. I can't believe you took this person from me. I can't believe you did this to me. My life is all, my life is all effed up." And I just felt like at a moment in time, the creator was like, "Okay, you hate me. I'm gonna show you what it's really like to not have me in your life." I felt like that. Like, I was like, "Oh, snap." Cause, like, instantly, like something just took over my body. Like, something just really released it. Like, it was just like, it was crazy. It was like, man, you can't really describe stuff like this. It's just, I just know a point in time where God really was like, "Okay, I'm gonna just give you a glimpse, like a little small smidget of what it really is like for me to not be around." Like, and I lied to you not. It got worse. It got even worse. Like, it went downhill fast, man. I mean, downhill fast. Whew. Like, I mean, when I say I couldn't manage hold on to nothing, I couldn't manage keep a hold on to anything. Like, I couldn't hold a job, keep a job, shit, get a good job. So I'm still stuck at the parking deck. I had moved from the apartment I had initially was in. 8 months later, I moved into another apartment. 8 to 10 months later, I moved into another apartment with my best friend, and we had an apartment. And a year after that, I moved with my uncle, and I stayed there for like a year, and then I moved in with another friend and her girlfriend, and I stayed there for like, or I don't even know if their lease was up or not. I don't even know. I just was moving everywhere. Like every year I was in a new location. Like and then I moved back into my own apartment. Finally was able to get my own space and place again. And this is just, you know what I'm saying? Around this time, it's like 2014. And I was able to move back in and get my own space and place again. And I think that's when, like, I ain't gonna say that's when God let up on me, but I think that's when I think that's when I've like found the outlet, something to kind of like embrace, like, and that outlet was music. At the time, I wasn't really into creating music. I had been around a friend that was actually doing her whole band life with, her music and things like that. She was rapping and she had a band and things like that. And she would invite us out, me and my best friend, out to, her shows and her backyard videos and things like that. And that kind of just made me feel connected again. Like, it just kind of made me feel like, oh, there was some substance that was tangible that wasn't a drug or alcohol. Like, and I think music became that outlet. And then, when I was at the apartment with my best friend, I had refound my love for poetry and things like that, and then it just kept scaling up. I started putting the poetry on the, kind of like lo-fi sounding beats and things like that. I kind of just started scaling up and scaling up and scaling up, and eventually I just once I moved into the apartment I had again by myself, it was a one bedroom. I started to create music and actually like fall in love with the actual craft of making music. I just didn't have the money to truly buy the equipment. So I found as much free stuff that I could in order to create music. And that's what I did. I just, went to work, I smoked weed, and I made music. And, that was working out. It was seemed to, be looking up. I wasn't completely content, but I was here, you know what I mean? And I could wake up again knowing that, oh, I'm gonna go make some music. And I didn't really do anything with the songs. I just was making music. I guess it was just a way to vent. And, I had made a song for my mom. I made a song about, the situation, things that happened. I made a whole storyline behind that. And, this is over time, of course, but it just, music just allowed me to either have a mood or release a mood and just pass the time by and keep my mind busy. I don't know why. I would listen to a lot of Dej Loaf, and I would listen to a lot of The Weeknd, a lot of Drake, and a lot of J. Cole. That was my lineup for some reason. I just remember like Sail Soul had came out, and I just thought it was like that whole Dej Loaf sound was crazy. Like, yeah. So I was hooked to their work for a little while. Yeah, and discovered Kevin Gates and went turned up on that. And I just was making my own music, just finding my own sound, and it was coming along. It was getting a lot more easier to cope with, and it was getting better. Now again, God still ain't let up on me though. He still ain't let up on me. I still had a lot more obstacles to face before it starts to get a little better. Cause man, it still gets worse. But yeah, I'm gonna end it right there. I think I don't want to keep the videos too long, but I definitely still want to get my story out and make sure I'm only, telling things that's going to help progress the story along. Because I do definitely want to get to a point where y'all get to see, more of my present today instead of just seeing me sitting here, telling my little blues clues and my R&B blues and things like that. Um, but yeah, I definitely don't want to have crazy amounts of video on my little life story or get too detailed. I definitely want to make sure I'm telling key factors that progress the story along. So I think I'm gonna end it right here, and I'm gonna get back with y'all another time. But definitely be sure to check out my previous videos that I have up on the channel. And for those who have, I appreciate it. And for those who have commented on my last videos, I definitely appreciate the love. And y'all take y'all time. Peace.